Hey everybody, welcome to Payday 2. Hello, hello. You've probably seen me play this game before. It's a game that I come back to quite often. I've played like 150 hours or something stupid like that. Um, and I really like stealthing, solo stealthing, so I'm going to run through my favourite stealth mission, which is Shadow Raid, and I thought I'd show you how I do it. Now this is going to be interesting because Shadow Raid is, I think, is one of the difficult things because you make one mistake and it kind of, you can't complete the mission. You have to, the only mistakes you can make are after a certain period of time. So I tend to have to restart and restart. So recording this is going to be difficult because I need to find a position and a time where I actually get it all right in one go. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to record kind of an intro, and then I'm going to try and record the whole footage, and every single time I'm going to record the same footage to see if I can complete it while giving tips, because the tips that I'm going to show are going to be useful. I just don't want to show those by failing, so I'm going to pick and choose as I see fit. In regards to skills and such, I will show you exactly what skills I'm using. We'll start with the Mastermind tree. I am level 79 and I've obviously not got all the skill points you can get, but this is what I run with. So you've got endurance, you've got ace cable guy, ace control freak, ace spotter. That's so you can do the job overview stuff, that you can get more stuff. Increased accuracy with pistols makes sense. Transporter, 50% carrying bags, 50% throwing bags. Nothing in technician, and then we go into the main focus here, which is going to be the ghost. Stamina, you don't need this one, but it's pretty good on your own. Less damage, which is useful on Shadow Raid. Cleaner, which means you get an extra body bags. More money when you pick up stuff, faster picking up stuff. Shinobi, which means you walk and crouch quicker. And 75% less noise when shot to death by people. Obviously ECMs, but I haven't chosen the ECM which delays the pager response, because there's no point in this one, because if you make a mistake, most likely it's going to end anyway, so you've just got to roll with it. I've got things that can open the doors, and I've also got lockpicking expert. Fugitive, which is one of the newer kind of trees, which I didn't know about until I started playing recently. I've unlocked concealment, which is really useful. Steadiness and armor. Dodging fire, which is for other things. You don't necessarily need that one. Climbing up ladders, which is useful in Shadow Raid because of a couple ladders and such. 10% additional movement speed. Standing still, 6th sense. This is very, very useful. I'll explain why when we get into the mission. And an additional body bag plus cleaning costs. In other words, I can shoot civilians for less money that it costs. So there we go. I have got another couple of points which I haven't bothered putting anywhere yet, but there we go. In regards to perk decks, I am equipped burglar because it's very useful for solo stealth runs, because you get to pick locks faster, you get concealment, you get 20% faster corp bagging, which is very useful. Headshot damage is useful as well. By the time I get to Dutch Courage and the far reaches of this one, you get 10% answer pages quicker, which is always useful, and standing still and crouching increases your armor rate, but you don't need that, especially for this sort of stuff. So that's the one I've chosen. Alternatively, I could use Hitman, which offers akimbo weapons, if you prefer akimbo weapons, without having to choose the fugitive perk. Anyway, so I'm just going to buy it outright, because I know for a fact that I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to put it on overkill. As you can see, I've done it 19 times, which means I've got a decent success rate. Except that I haven't, because what you can do on this is it doesn't tell you how many times you've tried to run it. If it showed you how many times to run it, it would probably hit 3 figures, at least 3 figures. So I've got enough money in my offshore anyway to get. Anyway, there we go. So this is Shadow Raid. Used to be you had assets that you could pick, and they were random. Now it's even better as far as I'm concerned, because you can do the pre-planning, which allows you to place things where you actually want them. So the first thing I do, body bags is always useful. I put them down the warehouse south wall, because I'll explain why in a few minutes. Surveillance, I always put 2 spy cams, one on the second floor small goods storage, and the first on the ground floor small goods storage as well, because the stairs here in the bottom right hand corner there and in that corner there are very, 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 very useful, because they're your access into the warehouse, and I'll explain more about that later. And I either go with a bag zip line to the river tug, which is this one here, which means you can drop your bags easy. I've taken a new strat quite recently by putting a drop off point at the waterfront garbage. That's because of another reason, which I'll explain also later on. Knowing me, I will almost certainly forget all these reasons while I'm doing the actual mission, and if I do so, I'll add them in the description or something like that, or re-edit it, however. So that's what we're going to do, and we are going to do this hopefully first try. Let's give it a go. Right, hello everybody, welcome to Shadow Raid. As you can see, I'm using Hoxhud, which some people deem as cheating, some people don't. I think it's a very useful tool, especially when it comes to picking locks and all that stuff. Now, there's a bit of an RNG really at the beginning of this mission, because you're going to spend about 20 or 30 minutes on this. So what you want to do is you want to set up so that it's the worst case scenario, i.e. when the chopper comes. Around the 5-minute mark, you will notice that the chopper will come over, and there's 2 possibilities. The first possibility is that the chopper will bring a container that it will drop, and that's the good possibility, and I think it's like 60-40 or 70-30% chance that it will happen. The other percentage is that it will bring more troops in. I don't know, I haven't worked out if there's any kind of rule to this, if you've killed 4 people already or whatever. So now this guy here is a problem. Sometimes he's round the corner over there by the camera, sometimes he's stood there, and sometimes he's actually patrolling this route. But in this case he's standing by this open door, and unfortunately he's my way into the building, so I am going to have to take this guy out. Hopefully there's no guy there. There isn't there, and you answer the page.
Appreciate the concern, but there's a whole lot of nothing going on down here.
With Hoxhud you get to press F and it'll actually just hold it for you. It's a good thing, because otherwise your thumb gets, or your finger gets really, really, really annoyed, and you have to worry about letting go by accident, and I just don't want to take that chance. So the reason I get rid of this guard is because sometimes, especially if you take cameras out, the guards will move around. There's a coke package here, so that's easy money as far as I'm concerned. When it's this close, it is worth putting these in, because you need 9. You need 9 of those packages, and if you don't get 9 of them, then you're pretty screwed if you make a mistake. Because if you make a mistake, it lights out. There's cameras around here. I made the wise decision of not doing the zip line, because it means I don't have to take these cameras out. I don't have to worry about them. I do have to worry about this camera here. So what I'm going to do now is kind of the riskiest part. I am going to infiltrate the top of this building by doing the ladder and jumping across the gap. Sometimes there's occasionally a package on here, which in this case there is. And having the spy cam where it is means that it can pretty much guarantee you knowledge of where the guards are inside. I'm going to check for a package behind here. There we go. There's usually one behind here. 50-50 sort of deal. And I'm going to infiltrate the top here. There's occasionally a camera there. There is a camera there. We've got some money. Now, there is a place behind here which is free of worry. So you can put your stuff there and not have to worry about it. if a guard comes up, because the guards, all they do is walk forward and turn left, and then they scout around. I'm expecting one of these to come up. Maybe both will come up. If both come up, I need to get the hell out of dodge. So I'm going to jump down here.
Got it.
And I'm going to go the back route. There's usually a package there, which I've just picked up, which is lucky. So, if you can't find a way around the guards without killing them, don't take a chance. Go and maneuver and take a different approach. So I'm going to take a different approach completely now, because I have to. I always find that these stairs are really bad, so I'm going to hold my ground here, wait for 3 seconds, and if anyone approaches near me, I can see them. No one is approaching, so I'm free to move. Weapon crate, I need a crowbar, which I haven't got. Camera there. There is a guard there. There's usually a civilian or two that walks through. Crowbar's usually there. They vary in position, but usually there's one there. I've got to... Crowbar is very useful, so picking that up in that position is really good. Now, the reason why I'm not like moving and going around the front and getting the cabinets, the cages, is because I want to find out what this helicopter is going to bring. So I'm going to wait here for a few more seconds, just let them figure it out. It should be in the next, I don't know, 30 seconds or so. On average, it's usually between the 5 and 6 minute mark, depending on how fast you get into the building. Yeah. And that is the sound clip. And when it says drop, I don't know if there's a different... I should really listen to this. And there's the drop. It's more personnel, which basically means this gets a lot harder as far as I'm concerned. Because now you have to take the risk of walking through the back containers over here. And the fact that there's a bloody camera there. There's no money in there.
They haven't seen us.
They haven't seen us yet. This is going to be difficult. Sometimes if that happens to me, I tend to just quit and just start again. Even though I spent like 50 or 60 grand on the assets and such, I tend to quit. But for the sake of this, I'm going to just...
Keep your distance.
I'm going to just play on. So sometimes you have time, if you're inside a building, to get out of the building when those people come in, because you will find that it takes them a few seconds to go from the roof to the...
Keep your distance. They're all over the place.
Now, there's usually 2 or 3 containers in the yard itself, money containers most likely. I don't think there's anything else. I don't think there's coke or anything like that. This one's actually quite dangerous. You have to have the skill in the controls. Forgive the massive loudness of my keyboard. And you have to be wary that the guards can see you pretty far away. There's the crowbar and there's some money. Now it could be prudent, if you want to take the approach of getting all the containers, is to put a drop-off point in one of the containers over here, which you can do. Other things you can also do is get the zip line from over here, so this actually is quite an easy progression. Or there is a drop-off point over the fence, I believe, and there's also you can cut some of these fences down and throw bags through towards where your van is, where you start. I've done that a couple of times, especially the further away from your drop-off point. You might want to actually, because you risk every time you pick up a bag, your visual range, the detection range goes up by masses and masses of. The problem is you shouldn't really jump over like that, but I've done it nonetheless. So that's 3 of 9. So it's not we're not awful in any sense of the imagination, but we've got 3 guards that we can dispose of safely, or we can try and dispose of safely. And there's a bag over there. I can't remember what that is. Oh, that's the other money, wasn't it? Oh, there's a guard. That's one of the problems as well, is that that guard does the two guards that have got, I think it's two or might even be three, that come in off the boat, off the chopper, they do move around a little bit more than usual, and the RNG is strong. These guys, they don't tend to come to this door, they come to that door, but they have been known to walk through. There is a lot of RNG when it comes to that. So there we go, 4 of 9. So I've got to pick up 5 from somewhere. So I'm gonna have to play it hard. I'm gonna play hardball with these mother truckers.
God, don't get close.
This guy coming down. There's a guard there. Please don't come down. If you come down, I will have to shoot you, because it's better to shoot someone down here than it is to shoot someone on the stairs there, or and unfortunately having the camera placement there, it raises your detection rate. So, but the problem with that camera there is that you tend to forget that it's there, and the problem is if you knock it out, the guards will try and come and see why it's been knocked out. They get told because there's a guy watching the cameras, as it were. So you've got to know. Oh God, more guards. Down, 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 down. I want them both to go up. Okay. And I didn't mean to actually throw. And I can't take the guy out in here, really, if you think about it, because of unless I kill him underneath the camera. But I run the risk here. I really do. Some would ECM at this point, but I'm going to see if he comes through the door, which he doesn't. And then I'm going to shoot him in the head. He's underneath the camera.
Nothing at all going on.
Unfortunately, I have to move this guy because the likelihood is one of his buddies going to come down and try and investigate it. So there we go. Dump him in the water. I've got one more. I've got 3 body bags left. So you start with 2, and you have an extra 3, so you have 5 in all. Let's stop here. Let's see. There's I don't think that's a guard. I think that was a. No, it was a guard. My mistake. There's no one on the 2nd floor. He's going to check the cage. There is someone on the 2nd floor. Weapon. Oh.
Rifles, pistols, and bullets. This will make Gage happy.
Random turnaround. They do that quite often, actually. There must be some form of bug in the system, as it were, because they, especially when it routes them upstairs and such, they do weird movements. So you've got to be very wary if you're shadowing someone, hoping that they're not going to turn around. You've got to be very careful. So that's 6 of 9. Now, once you get to 9, you can then start to take risks, especially if you can find coke. If you find coke, you can move very, very quickly because you can still run with coke. You can use shift to sprint. So if you find coke and you make a mistake and you're at 9-9 or 8-9, you can run. You've got the ability to run and see if you can get into the van before time runs out. Sometimes there's coke in these lockers. Sometimes there's money in here on desks or underneath desks. There's money in that room there on the counter or down there or underneath. There's occasionally packages as well, as we found the crowbar in here too.
God, don't
2
get
guards
close.
in there. Now, it's very, very, very useful for me to take the guy out in here.
Hey, watch where you're shooting.
Because if I take this guy out in here,
losing
As
your
long as
signal?
no guard
Come on,
comes round
just gonna try
here,
something.
which I don't think they do, I should be fine. I might move him because he fell forward, so I might move him if a guard comes here, but they tend not to, so I might risk leaving him there. I'm also just going to go flick through here because I'll get a mark on quite a few of them. There we go. No server, because there's occasionally a server here. There's occasionally a box of money in here as well. Never open this door, because obviously the cards walk through there and they can see right in here. Having it here, I'm going to move him. Having it here allows you to most likely not get spotted. You get a crowbar down there, by the way, and there's occasionally some coke there. There's occasionally some coke. There's a weapon there.
Guard over here.
And also be careful of the windows because they can see. You know, these guards aren't silly. Coke that I saw there. Interaction. If you open these doors, be prepared for the guards to come walk through, because they do. They will change their route and walk through. And also you've got to be very careful of the fact that these guards can see magically sometimes. You just got to deal with it. You just got to deal with that magical kind of vision that these guards sometimes have. See that guard there. So I've got one kill left, or at least one guard kill left that I can do. So I've got to be very careful with the next guard that I kill. I've got to kill him safely. And now that I've taken the guard in the camera room down, I can walk without having to worry about the cameras, which is a very nice thing to have. And it's not something you need to do, but I recommend you doing it as one of your 4 people to get rid of, because it's very, very useful to be able to one, be able to tag enemies and see where they are, and 2, it also means that you can walk around here fairly comfortably now. There's a guard there. Is he moving? Yes, he's moving. He's moving. So it's very precarious. Very precarious, especially if you want to and that wasn't very good. So I've wasted my final body bag on that civilian because I didn't stop and look. Stop, look and listen. Painting here. That guy's going to come up, so I'm going to take this quickly.
That's an original dust off.
There we go. Now you could, if you wanted to use the key cards
Keep your distance.
for the cages, you can do, but if you can, you might want to get the get at least one key card, keep hold of it, and then if you can magic it, you can try and get the armor that is in the vault, which I've never done. I've done it on normal mode, but I've never actually done it on anything more than normal, because the guard placement has to be exact, and you've got to oh dear. Right, I've got enough now to go if I want to, or I can risk and try and get more. Despite the fact that the RNG wasn't very nice to me this time round, I've actually happily done quite well. So I now can try and get as much stuff as possible, and I can take more risks. So let's start again. The problem is the further you go into the building, the more you risk. 1, 2, 3, guys gone up. The more you risk a detection by doing it.
Guard over here.
Now that guard there
Got one.
would be super useful to take out. You know why? Because if he's got a card, you could get into the vault. And I don't know if that guy's going to move. I think he will move eventually. And I can't be sure. It's very tempting to try this. What I might do is I might see if I can just get as much other stuff as possible first. And then from then I can try and alternatively I can try and take this guy hostage.
On the ground. On the ground.
Every hostage you take slows the cops down.
God.
I think there's a key there as well.
Get moving.
It's not in the right place. You see, just so you're aware, if you've never played this before, the vault downstairs has got a 10-second time lock on it, which means that if the first card that you put in, you've got 10 seconds to put the second card in. So you've got to be super quick. You've got to be the quickest you've ever been to get that card, and you have to have that card fall really, really, really close to the vault. It's just a way that you have to. Oh, wow, okay.
Keep your distance.
I thought I'd picked up that. Didn't. See what I mean by the guards will go out? They will try and, you know, they really thought this through, this game, for the pathing of the guards, because most companies would have thought, do you know what, I can't be bothered coding that. The people who made this game really thought about it, and I'm very happy that they've done so, because it means that this game isn't just you know, shoot, rob, win, sort of thing. It's very much a guy upstairs. He's coming down. Where are you going? Are you going to come all the way down? You never kind of do. Just allow me to go up though. I just want to double check that I moved. I did move that guy, didn't I? I did. Thanks. So, yes, right. So I think I've got everything up here apart from the server. I've got to be careful that there's no guards on the rail.
On that server. Maybe the president's email address.
There's a guard still up there though. That's really annoying. That guard is seriously annoying. Luckily you can't see all the way down. So that is it for stuff up here, except in the cages. Now I'm going to keep hold of this because there's no guarantee that there's anything in that crate. So I'm going to see if I can take out.
Watch out, fellas. Watch out, fellas.
Oh, where are you going? Go left. Yes, thank you.
They're all over the place.
This guy here is that second guy here. He is. Now, if I take this guy out and he hasn't got a card, I can't move him. If I can't move him and a guy walks through there, which they have a tendency to do, under the guard there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to kill this guy and then I'm going to rush out and go. Because I don't think any of these three guys are actually going to move. So if I do kill this guy, I have to kill him in a way that won't get spotted from the other side and hope that there's a guard. Oh, there's another guard. There's another guard there. Oh. Oh, there's a key. That was really, really lucky. I'd done that the wrong way around. I should have killed the guy and made sure he had a card first.
That's the armor of Oda Nobunaga. Back to pieces. That's genuine.
Oh, I've spotted. You can't back up because I've put my ECM down. So I'm going to get one piece of the armour. It's not 100% ideal. No, you're not, mate, because I'm going to put this server in and then I'm going to run to the end of the game. So there you have it, folks. That is Shadow Raid. I've done it on my first go. I've not had to edit this. I've not had to change it. It's all done. It's not all done. There's like at least six more bags of stuff that could have been taken. So, but I'm really happy with that. To be honest, I'm really happy with it.
Early done, gang. You guys are like shadows.
Not bad. I mean, it's not brilliant. That you can get a lot more money from that one, but as a first go, I'm really pleased with that. I might have another couple of goes, you know, and see how it goes. But 75,000 XP is pretty shit. But hey, what are you gonna do? So there we are. There you have Shadow Raid. I hope I've given some tips on how to actually do this. I hope you've enjoyed the video, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.